covering Pakistan's nerve-wracking one-wicket loss to the West Indies on day 4 at Sabina Park, and also day 4 of India versus England at Lord's, with my guest Hatib Khan from Reading, UK, on this volume of
CRIQAZI Diaries.
Have a look at that, miles up, oh, it's nearly taken someone out of the stands. That was a flat six right under the stand there, the George Giffen stand, happy for the members, and it went like a rocket. Well, wicket 24.
Haji Malik, first of all, thanks for making it to the show on such short notice. वो भी इतने टूटे हुए दिल के साथ, तो क्या feelings हैं after that? Thriller of a game, but unfortunately,
Thriller of a game, absolutely.
It stings.
Yeah, and test match इतना interesting हो जाए, you know, what more can a cricket fan ask for? तो मजा बहुत आया देखने का, लेकिन a little bit disappointing from what I've seen, and especially with the boys in the field. And there's a lot they can learn from this. Like, all in all, just to keep it short, it's disappointing.
नहीं, इसमें तो कोई शक ही नहीं है, and it was an instant classic, and this is why we love Test cricket and wish that it keeps on going with the same flavor and everything. But शुरू करते हैं, चलो पाकिस्तान की bowling से ही. First of all, I thought कि पाकिस्तान only added 44 runs today, 124 की lead थी और 168 का टारगेट हो गया. I think that wasn't enough to begin with, but then जो fight दिखाई है पाकिस्तान ने bowling में, it was absolutely fantastic. Start कर लेते हैं शाहीन शाह अफरीदी से. उसका स्टैचर बस बढ़ता ही जा रहा है. He's moving from strength to strength, और पाकिस्तान का सबसे he's our hottest commodity in all formats when it comes to pace bowling. और आते सारी उसने 16 for 3 कर दिया वेस्ट इंडीज को. तो उस पॉइंट पे तो things looked very promising. And what do you have to say about Shaheen in general? I suppose he's had a really good game, 8 wickets in the Test match.
Absolutely, and just to start off with, low total tha, and really well fought. Shaheen set up the stage with those 3 early wickets. And just to talk about Shaheen, I'm a big fan. ठीक है, future वही है हमारा, he's gonna be a big star even more than he is now. Lekin I think we need to use him a bit more sensibly now. He does perform, and it's hard to drop someone who's in such good form. He's young, उसको कोई उस तरह की injuries नहीं है, problem नहीं है. लेकिन the management should be thinking कि इसका career prolong करना है. You don't want to burn him out after about 2 years or something. He plays T20s, he plays ODIs, Test भी खेलता है, and the good thing is he performs in all formats. So it's tough, लेकिन they should pick on when he should get a rest as well. Other than that, absolutely splendid bowler, and he's the one who set up the stage today for everyone else.
Yeah, और मतलब पिछली innings में भी he got 4, and this innings again he got 4 again. वो तो बेचारे का 5 wicket haul रह गया. Got unlucky, रोच उसको out कर लिया था उसने, हसन अली ने कैच छोड़ दिया. So I do feel for him, और इतने अच्छे टेस्ट मैच के बाद to end up on the losing side. So yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of Shaheen as well, and I hope कि वो बेहतर होए और with each passing day. और मतलब उसका workload management करें, but Test cricket में I want to see him every single Test match. वहाँ पे मैं कोई रेस्ट नहीं चाहता उसके लिए. But yeah, West Indies were 16 for 3, और फिर एकदम से पार्टनरशिप लग गई जर्मेन ब्लैकवुड की एंड रॉस्टन चेस की, एंड 84 for 3 थे वो. फिर जाकर कहीं विकेट गिरी, एंड उस टाइम पे लग रहा था कि like West Indies will run away with the game. So yeah, I guess credit to Blackwood in particular. 55 की innings खेलना इतनी मुश्किल पिच पे, and then Chase giving support. Credit तो देना पड़ेगा, and ultimately that partnership did win West Indies the game in a way.
Absolutely, that partnership was really good. And Babur was trying different options. वो यासिर को भी लाया partnership तोड़ने के लिए. Hassan tried, Shaheen tried, लेकिन they were really good. They had a solid plan. ठीक है, they weren't going for any sort of shot outside off. Hassan का एक over बीच में आया था जहाँ पे he was chirping as well, and he got Blackwood to swing a few times, and उसने miss भी किया. तो मतलब there was slight hope कि चलो शायद कुछ try हो, लेकिन I guess the discipline came back. They spoke to each other, and then I think Hassan के अगले ओवर में, the one I'm talking about, उसके बाद वाले में, he went for 2 boundaries, and outside off उसने, he waited for the ball and he hit the right one. So that partnership sort of, I think, took it away, because at that time they were cruising, लेकिन फिर wickets getting into game का dynamic shift हुआ, लेकिन yeah, credit to West Indies for that partnership.
And you mentioned that Blackwood did take his chances, like he was playing his shots. थोड़ा lucky भी हुआ, because he did nick one off Hassan Ali. No one heard that edge, तो किसी ने अपील भी नहीं की, ना रिव्यू किया, but he was out earlier. तो खैर चलो, ये चीजें तो क्रिकेट में होती रहती हैं.
Yeah, that was a club.
Yeah. But खैर, I think Blackwood credit तो definitely देना पड़ेगा. He is West Indies' vice captain. तो good knock over there. और फिर 84 for 3 पे वही, I was saying that it seemed like the game was gone. और फिर Fahim Ashraf, he's had a good game. Bat के साथ भी उसने contribute किया. पहली innings में 44, then 20 in the second. और फिर उसने दोनों crucial wickets आपको निकाल दी वहाँ पे. पहले तो he removed Roston Chase, and then he also removed Kyle Mayers, who got a pair in this game. तो एकदम से 5 wickets down हो गई थी, and Pakistan started looking on the up again. So what is your take on Fahim Ashraf, the Test cricketer?
Fahim's shaping up to be a better test cricketer पहले से. तो मतलब बाकी formats में कम, पहले it was the opposite, but now he's an asset for the test team because he does deliver, you know, या bat के साथ या ball के साथ. आज जब वो आया है ये partnership तोड़ने के लिए, तो it took him a while to get started. His first over wasn't the best. He was dropping it short as well. Lekin once he found the momentum, you know, he gave you the crucial breakthrough. He's the one, you know, just आपको breakthrough दिया. So he's good. He's going to be an asset, and I think he should stay in the test team.
Yeah, line and length, अच्छी line length पे करा रहा था, और batting में भी, you know, he's been contributing for a while now. So I think Fahim तो अपनी जगह definitely he will maintain his spot. खैर फिर आपकी crease पे थे Jermaine Blackwood and then Jason Holder, who's been one of West Indies' best players. Like I think वो उनका superstar है in the team. और this was the pair that Pakistan really needed to get out. और कर लिया फिर पाकिस्तान ने. Hassan Ali actually first he contributed with the bat so well. Pakistan तो मतलब बहुत जल्दी. Babar was dismissed off a leg cutter of Kyle Mayers, a good one. So he got a good one. I'm not going to fault him for that. और Fahim भी रोज पे out हो गया था. तो runs जो आपको कर दिए 168 तक target आपको लेकर गया. Hassan ही लेकर गया वहां तक आपको with that quick fire 28. And then he removed both Blackwood and Jason Holder. और Jason Holder वाला dismissal तो बहुत ही प्यारा था. Like on the stroke of tee, top of off, but nothing the batsman could do about that. And Hassan Ali 2.0 is, I'm really impressed with him, even though he's dropped a very critical catch in this game and definitely should shoulder some of the blame. But I think काफी अच्छा match था उसका भी overall, minus the dropped catch.
Yeah, good match for him, and I think he'll get better as well. Yeah, he's improving. The good thing about Hassan is his attitude अच्छा है. Like he's a typical seamer, who's gonna ball, you know, a bouncer as well in between. He's gonna give the odd look to the batsman. So yeah, attitude uska अच्छा है. It's good, but at the same time, he should keep learning as well. Just Shaheen uske samne ke example hai. Shaheen is working really hard. So isko bhi na Jojo, whatever he's missing out in his bowling, he should work on that as well. He shouldn't just think he's a finished product at this time. He should continue for the betterment. Like he's good. The dropped catch, I think that single-handedly sort of switched the game, and had he caught it, I mean, it happens in cricket. It's hard to say कि मतलब, you know, उसके बाद हम जीत जाते हैं कुछ. लेकिन at the standard they're playing, इस तरह के catches we can't put down. There's no way.
You
no
could
excuse.
see the disappointment on his face as well, and I did feel for him because, you know, he fought so hard to bring Pakistan back in the game. और बहुत अच्छी bowling कराई है Hassan Ali ने. He consistently bowled in that channel, वो जो off stump channel and that corridor of uncertainty, जहाँ पे इतनी मुश्किल हो रही थी हर batsman को दोनों sides से in this test match. मगर फिर टी पे एकदम से, you know, Jason Holder out हो गया at the stroke of tea, and West Indies are 114 for 7, and Pakistan started smelling victory. उस पॉइंट पे अभी भी 54 रन्स चाहिए थे वेस्ट इंडीज को, तो वहां से मैच हारना, I think Pakistan will be really disappointed, because I was watching and I thought, oh, they've done it, they've done the unthinkable, and now they're going to win this test match. मगर फिर they couldn't wrap it up, and I think that was just the real heartbreaking thing about today's game.
Yeah, the last bit was, you know, wasn't executed in the best way. Lekin phir bhi, it's hard to fault the whole unit or anything. I just feel like the 3 dropped catches should be the highlight of you know, lessons learned here. Other than that, you know, Roach, credit to him, you know, just हमारे लिए Hassan Ali and 28 कर गया. For them, Roach played that part. He got them 24 odd runs. वो खड़ा रहा, out नहीं हुआ, single double आते रहे हैं. They played sensibly at the end. उनको भी समझ आ रही थी क्या करना है. And Hassan, you know, आखिरी ओवर में he got the edge. ठीक है, bowler की victory होगी. If that fell a little short in between first slip and the keeper, so there were chances, but I guess at the end of the day, it favored West Indies.
Yeah, for sure. और मतलब I personally think कि ठीक है, the 3 drop catches after tea are unacceptable. अगर आप 7 down opposition और आप 3 catches छोड़ दो, जिसमें से अब्बास वाला जो था and Hassan wala, those 2 should have been taken. Rizwan gets a pass because that was a very difficult opportunity. But Joshua De Silva को पहले drop किया अब्बास ने. अब वही पहले out हो जाता तो tail पहले थोड़ी और expose हो जाती. So, you know, butterfly effect के अगर आप उस तरीके से सोचो, then things could have been much different. And I do ultimately blame those drop catches, all 3 of them, for the loss in the end. But I think कि first innings में पाकिस्तान का 217 थोड़ा कम था. वहाँ पे थोड़े थोड़ा 250-260 तक कर लेते, 50-60 odd runs over there and defending a target of over 200, बहुत आसानी हो जाती पाकिस्तान में, क्योंकि सेकंड इनिंग्स में तो पाकिस्तान के लिए बहुत मुश्किल था उस वक्त रन्स करना. The conditions were very difficult to bat in and we saw that in the last innings as well. तो सेकंड इनिंग्स बैटिंग फेलियर में मुझे इतना मसला नहीं है, मगर फर्स्ट इनिंग्स में 217 में I think that was a missed opportunity. And then of course like I said before, it's absolutely inexcusable to drop three catches, वो भी after tea when the opposition is 7 down and you're smelling victory. और कभी भी वो runs नहीं होने चाहिए थे वेस्ट इंडीज के. So I think पाकिस्तान के जो आज players हैं, मुश्किल ही उनको नींद आए रात को, especially Abbas and Hassan.
Absolutely, and you could see Hassan ne jab last वो चौका गया तो he sat down on the ground as well. लेकिन that's no pass for this. They need to focus on this sort of things. आप किसी भी बैट्समैन को किसी टॉप टीम के एक दो चांसेस दे दो तो मतलब they'll take the game from you. That's just how the standard these guys play in. So all in all, I guess they need to focus on the areas.
Yeah, अच्छा वो बड़ा वैसे था तो बड़ा ही thrilling last session. It was, you couldn't take your eyes off the screen. और मतलब एकदम से जब जोशुआ डिसिल्वा ड्रॉप हुए तो लग रहा था कि मार रोच एंड जोशुआ डिसिल्वा अब सेट हो गए हैं, ले जाएंगे. फिर शाहीन आया and then he got you Joshua De Silva out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden oh my god, 2 wickets, 26 runs. Pakistan were right back into the game and looking as favorites. वहाँ फिर से as a fan and a supporter I was like, oh my god, like now they've definitely got it. मगर वही फिर there were more dropped catches, and even though रिजवान ने इतना क्या खूबसूरत कैच पकड़ा, that was such an amazing effort in which they dismissed Jomel Warrican off the bowling of Hassan Ali. कहाँ से भागता एंड में बाउंड्री लाइन पे उसने जाकर कैच पकड़ा है, diving, running away from the ball, but with his back to the ball. So that was a great effort, but in vain. और रिजवान भी even though पहला जो उसने कैच ड्रॉप किया है, that was a hard one, but I know he sets really high standards for himself, so he will be really disappointed. And then again, as you mentioned, that ball that went for 4, Hassan Ali ने approach की, he could have gotten his glove underneath that ball. I mean, याद आता है ना वो सरफराज का catch versus New Zealand in the World Cup, Ross Taylor को dismiss करने के लिए जो लिया था. So he needed a similar effort over there, but yeah, I guess you can't catch all of them. And Rizwan के लिए भी it's going to be a really difficult defeat to stomach, and Pakistan really they had it in their hands. I think जीता हुआ मैच, पहले हारा हुआ मैच वापस जीतने की पोजीशन में लेकर आकर फिर हार गए हैं, classic Pakistan.
Exactly, well said, and that's exactly what happened. एक चीज इसके बारे में ये है कि just looking at generally slips and the keeper, I feel like ये थोड़ा पीछे खड़े हुए हैं इस पूरे दिन, ठीक है. They were a lot शुरू में भी, if you watch the match, 3-4 दफा हुआ कि it just fell short of second slip, just fell short of first slip. So I think by then, someone should speak to the slips and fielders कि यार एक step आगे आ जाओ. You've understood कि the ball is dropping short. So at least give yourself that chance कि यार चलो ठीक है, it will carry to me. So yeah, I think fielding पे थोड़ा सा इनको देखना पड़ेगा.
काफी देर से जो है वेस्ट इंडीज कह रहा हूँ, पाकिस्तान जो है they've lost some test matches काफी करीब जाकर. The first one that comes to my mind in recent memory is that New Zealand test. I think Abu Dhabi में था और Pakistan was on the other end. We had 1 wicket left and Azhar Ali was still playing और Azhar out हो गया था. Pakistan lost by 3 or 4 runs. फिर last year's test defeat against England at Old Trafford, where England were 5 or 6 down, or they still had a lot of runs to score, and then all of a sudden Wokes or Butler आकर score कर गए. तो एक वो टेस्ट याद आता है, and then now we have this heartbreaking loss to cope with. So it must be tough for the guys, and this game must have taken a lot out of them mentally. क्योंकि जान तो मारी है, 100% fight तो की है, and I am proud of the effort. It's just that catches win you matches, as cliche as that sounds. And वो भी 3 छोड़ देना after tea, especially when you only need a couple of wickets. So this will definitely hurt, and I think बहुत ही crucial victory है वेस्ट इंडीज के लिए, and it's a painful defeat for Pakistan क्योंकि 2-match test series है, and it was an away game, and Pakistan won this World Test Championship का नया cycle है, बहुत फायदा होना था, और एकदम से you've started the new cycle on the back foot in a game that you really should have won. So that doesn't make for great reading.
Absolutely, and this is going to hurt them in the long run, because this is one of those test matches they should have won, and they nearly won as well. So bilkul khas taur pe when the points play out, they'll remember this for a very long time, and they should be starting stronger rather than weakly. And I think Pakistan has done this more than once. They start weak and then they end up much stronger. So hopefully they do well. They should really learn something from this test match, and going forward thoda sa changes implement kare iske upar.
Yeah, वही बात है ना कि every test match matters. That's why it just hurts all the more. पहले तो आपको चलो 3-match series मिल जाती थी, अब तो 2 से ज़्यादा मिलती भी नहीं है. So I mean that is also to Pakistan's disadvantage, because they can only improve in test cricket so much if they don't play it as frequently. तो ये थोड़ी शिकायतें तो हैं मेरी, but this is the world that we live in, and tough luck to Pakistan. I definitely feel for the boys, and it's a personally too, it's a tough one to stomach, but then 100% आपको credit देना पड़ेगा West Indies को. It was a fantastic performance, especially the seamers. Like चलो पहले तो कीमा रोज की बात करते हैं. इतनी consistent line and length कराई है उसने throughout this game. Didn't give the batsman anything, and he was bowling at pace as well. और then चलो 5 विकेट जो उसने नहीं वो तो एक तरफ, but then you think about that knock of 30 which took West Indies home. That's absolutely priceless, and Roach himself has said that that's the best innings in test cricket he's ever played.
Yeah, no, credit to Roach, and matlab, you can see that he acts like a senior bowler as well. वो क्योंकि West Indies की टीम में काफी मिक्स अप हुई हुई है, Roach has been there for a while, तो उसने वो leadership role भी अच्छी रखी हुई है, बाकी bowlers के साथ बात वगैरह करना, and he's playing that, sort of character really well. And the knock was absolutely, usne, just like, I compared this to Hassan ne hame with the 28 runs. Roach did that for them. At the end he stayed there and तक लेके गया. Even though एक दो दफा उसने last ball पे जब वो strike, when he gave away the strike, I thought maybe that's an opening for Pakistan. लेकिन it played through. उसने हर ball, merit पे खेल लिया. He didn't hawk the strike or anything. खेलता रहा. तो yeah, credit to West Indies for playing well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he definitely, सारा जो उसका experience था, he brought it to the fore, और it was nerves of steel, and even though he got dropped twice, वो उसकी गलती तो नहीं है, so you can't fault him for that. So I think, yeah, definitely crucial knock for West Indies. And then you talked about how he was the experienced bowler in that pack. तो बात करते हैं दूसरे bowler की, the inexperienced one. Ian Bishop probably said it like 5 times, the teacher and the student. Teacher to Keema Roach tha, and the student was 19-year-old Jaden Seals, playing only his 4th first-class game, hails from Trinidad and Tobago. और तीसरा test था, and he took 8 wickets in the game, became the youngest West Indian bowler to get a fifer in test cricket. So this is extremely promising. Or काफी देर से West Indies की जो fast bowling थी, which was their legacy at one point, the stocks had dried up, and now you see all of a sudden they've got these youngsters coming in. Jaden Seals, who's had such a good start to his test career, and I think he's going to do wonders for him. फिर Alzari Joseph भी है, but खैर वो तो खेल नहीं रहा था. Let's talk a little bit about Seals. How did you like that performance? What do you think about it?
Good, and as you said, this is good prospect for West Indies. Really good prospect, and especially it's good for him that he got to play with someone like Roach. ठीक है, उसने उसके साथ start किया, तो he has someone to speak to, look up to, and Roach has an abundance of experience. उसने बहुत test cricket खेली हुई है, and he's been in the scene for quite some time now. So उसको experience है, and he's he got the wickets. He made the ball talk, and मतलब हमारे भी अच्छे batsmen भी हैं. ये नहीं कि he got some newbies or anything. We got the experienced batsmen out. So credit to him, and I think he's gonna have to remember this test match and his debut for a while.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit poetic, I guess, in the sense that पहले तो both Jaden Seals and Keema Roach were Pakistan's tormentors with the ball. फिर जब Seals ने fifer लिया अपना, तो Roach ने catch पकड़ा, and he went there and he hugged him, so that was a really cute moment. And then ultimately, this was the batting pair that took West Indies home at the end. और मतलब last wicket की partnership 17 runs की थी, कोई इतने कम runs नहीं थे. So Jaden Seals के लिए भी to hold his nerve over there in that position, I think Keema Roach की तारीफ तो करनी बनती है, but Seals की भी बनती है, because after that bowling performance, and then he stuck it out at the end, and taking your team home in such a big test match, he's going to remember that for the rest of his life, and I think that he's going to have a really fruitful career in test cricket. West Indies have definitely found a real gem over here. Yeah,
I know he showed maturity with the bat, and I think this is one advantage of playing in home conditions as well. Okay, you get that confidence boost. So matlab, he's playing in West Indies, versus players bhi uske saath, Roach was with him. So he delivered, and that's great.
Yeah, I mean, every test match has heroes, and then of course कुछ villains हो जाते हैं, but villains, I guess, if Hassan Ali shouldn't take this to heart. He had a really good game, especially like वो जो 28 runs थे बहुत priceless थे. No one else scored today. He was the only one who took Pakistan's lead to 167 and set a target of 168. And then he bowled really well. So chalo, catch drop ho gaya. He will feel that. Hopefully he learns from it. And the stars of the day are Roach and Seals. So, well, we just have to tip our hats to them and congratulate them. So good for West Indian cricket, I think. Really positive, especially after that mutilating defeat to South Africa in the previous test series. I think this is a good lift for them. And test cricket, वैसे I love to see other countries flourish in test cricket. So it was a great advert for the game. And everyone who enjoyed it, obviously, like no one would not enjoy that test match. That's just how good it was. Let's see if Pakistan can bounce back though. You think they have it in them to make this 1-1?
Absolutely. I think they might make some changes to the team, which they should, rightfully so. Definitely, I think we're looking at a 1-1 series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like Pakistan have enough to win the next test match, especially after having played on this Jamaica pitch now, the seamer-friendly pitch. So next time they'll be better prepared. But you mentioned changes, so I'll start with a few that I think should be made. Imran Butt is a fantastic slipper. मैंने शायद यूनुस खान और असद शफीक के बाद इतना अच्छा slip catcher नहीं देखा. But और आज उसने लिए भी हैं बहुत crucial catches. But I don't think that's enough to warrant his spot in the team. He's been getting absolutely no runs. अभी तक एक ही innings of substance है उसकी, that 91 versus Zimbabwe. He looks all at sea in Test cricket, and I don't think he deserves that spot. So I would replace him with South Shakil, open with Azhar, and then South can come one down.
Agreed. Absolutely, I'm on the same page with him.
Yeah. Baki changes में, I guess one thing you could potentially talk about is Yasir Shah. He didn't look good at all. ठीक है, seamer friendly wicket थी तो आप इतना तो नहीं कह सकते उसको, but बिल्कुल off color लग रहा था. So would you consider playing maybe a Numan Ali instead of Yasir Shah in the second test?
Not really. I think both spinners would be at equal competence, given, as you mentioned, the pitch is seamer friendly. So I think in conditions mein, either one of them would be equally lethal. You could take your pick. You could play Numan, he wouldn't be more threatening or less threatening than Yasir at this point.
Yeah, I'm really on the fence with that one. And then I guess another potential change, like even though Abbas didn't get a wicket today, bowling to usne काफी अच्छी कराई है. He didn't give any width to the batsman. Line and length अच्छी थी, wicket to wicket bowling. And then बार-बार जाकर Shaheen से बात कर रहा था. So you need that experienced bowler. So some people have been saying कि maybe drop Abbas and play Dhani, give him his debut. But I think I would stick with Abbas for now.
Abbas stays. He's the most consistent, and I feel like he has to play that role that Roach plays for the West Indian bowlers. You mentioned baat karne wali, experience wali, and Abbas is good. He's consistent. He can talk to them and tell them what to do. Because abhi bhi, when Abbas bowls, it's hard to play him. Economy uski best rehti hai. So I think he's good. And agar we conditions thodi us tarah ki ho, he's lethal in overcast conditions, etc. So agar us tarah ka, second test mein koi mahal bane, to he'll be tough to play. So I'd keep him in the team.
Yeah, I would as well. So only one change then. Imran Butt goes out and South Shakil comes in. Chalo, let's move on to the India and England game now. Acha, Hatib, day 4 at Lord's game was very evenly poised. 27 की lead थी England की, and India were just starting their second innings. Openers नहीं चले आज. They were really good touch in this series, or I guess law of averages dictates कि कभी ना कभी तो fail होना है. So KL Rahul has been so successful. पहले test में he got 80 odd. Now he got 100 at Lord's. So वो 5 पे dismiss हो गया. Got a really good one from Mark Wood. I won't fault him too much. And then Rohit Sharma looked really good for his 21. वो तो लग रहा था he's going to take the game away from England. And then he hit Mark Wood for that 6 on the pull. But then that same shot brought about his dismissal soon after. He fell to that trap. So what would you like to say about India's openers and then that Rohit dismissal in particular?
Rohit plays his game. That's why he's so good. ठीक है, वो मतलब he's not gonna stop down. वो अपना एक tempo रखता है. He has a style of batting, which is why he's so good. तो उसने पहली innings में भी खेला, अपनी गेम खेली है, and इसमें भी he was going for his shots. He was playing the way he wanted to. KL on the other hand, you can see that he can shift tempo. पहली innings में उसने मेरे ख्याल में 80 balls पे कोई 18 run किए थे when he was in that partnership. And then when Sharma got out, he just switched gears and he kept going. So KL has that, ability. Lekin Sharma just plays his game. Lekin, unfortunately it didn't work today. So India lost early wickets, and that exposed their middle order big time. And I think the key wicket for me was Kohli's wicket that really sort of left the game wide open.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Sharma. I think he's got to play his shots, and he went for it. He got out, and he said it himself that this shot has gotten him a lot of runs, so he's going to play his shots. So 27 for 2 हो गई थी India. They lost quick wickets for the first time, और अभी lead 0 ही थी तो 2 विकेटें गिर गई थी. But then Kohli actually for the first time in the series looked good. आते सारी cover drive मारी, बहुत crisp लग रहा था. But then again, उसी तरह फिर से out हो गया. तीनों dismissals कोहली के, same kind of dismissal, 4th to 5th stump की channel. and he prods at it, edges it to the slips of the keeper. We've seen this problem with Kohli before, 2014 May, which was arguably his worst series in Test cricket. This was the way he kept getting out. और अब आपको फिर से ये नजर आ रहा है. And then Sam Curran finally got a wicket in this Test series. What a big one to get. Virat Kohli, वो भी for 20. So would Kohli be concerned कि बार-बार इसी तरह out हो रहा है and he's not amongst the runs and is not performing even near to the standards that he himself has set in international cricket?
I think it would be a concern for just himself. I think criticism is a little unnecessary at this point. He's a class batsman. And yes, he's had the issue before as well. We do know that is tarah ke jo players hain, because they have such high standards, we feel like, oh, he's failing miserably and this and that. That's not the case. He's had a bad batch of form. I think he's going to bounce back. He'll be fine. He's had that problem. And, this also shows that he is a good player and he has that confidence that I can't put this away, which is why he goes for that. He takes his bat outside in that channel and he gets an edge, unfortunately. I wouldn't be concerned too much. I don't feel like his batting time is over or anything. He's still a class batsman, and I feel like he'll bounce back much stronger. He'll be okay.
Yeah, you feel like he's one good innings away from regaining that kind of form. Or आज जिस तरह he was striking the ball, लग रहा था कि आज आ गई है. But then again, same mistake, and I don't know, he really doesn't need to play those deliveries. So I don't know why he does it. Maybe he needs to practice leaving the ball a bit. But he's going to be disappointed because he looked good, and then, well, I guess I'm happy for Sam Curran that finally he's made a contribution in the series with the ball. But then again, India were 3 down, और अभी भी कोई ज़्यादा lead नहीं थी उनकी. And a lot of the day was left, and that's where I felt like the middle order, which has been failing consistently, finally they fired and they really grinded out the day. Classic Chiteshwar Pujara, 45 odd runs, 200 plus deliveries. Finally we saw him play that role that he's so famous for, that anchor role. And even though 45 isn't a 50, but considering how bad form he was in, I think that will definitely feel good.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that he was in very, very bad form. He's just how Sharma plays his game. Pujara has his own way of playing, which is literally just blocking everything out. We can see from sort of day one that's his role, and he plays to it. Usko koi problem nahi hai ki dusre end pe kya ho raha hai, nahi ho raha. He will hold his end, and that's what he did, and that's exactly what they needed today. To save a collapse, you want someone to save them. Facing 200 plus deliveries is not easy. वो भी मतलब from the likes of Jimmy and Robinson and Curran. So मुश्किल था, लेकिन he held out. And then Rahane, we know कि he's today's, you could say Dravid. He plays like that as well. So उसने भी किया, and this partnership was absolutely vital. The amount of deliveries they played, blocking, जिसमें उनको कोई फिक्र नहीं थी run rate की. They just wanted to bat out, and I think they did that wonderfully. Too good.
Yeah, Ajinkya Rahane was under even more pressure than Pujara, I feel, because he was averaging less than 20 in Test cricket this year. Very vital 50 for him, 61 usne eventually kiye. But he was dropped on 30 by Johnny Bairstow, a chance that you expect cricketers to take at this level. So I think that dropped catch could prove very, very crucial in this game, क्योंकि वो अगर वहाँ पे Rahane out हो गया होता, England might have restricted India even further, even though abhi bhi England is very much in the game. But maybe, he scored 30 extra runs, occupied the crease for longer. So that drop could hurt England, and it's been a day of dropped catches, hasn't it?
It is, absolutely. And for if you give a batsman a chance, the game changes. It's like, you go out to bat and I see you have one extra life. Do what you want. So uske baad, the amount of the runs wouldn't matter too much at this point, but the amount of deliveries he faced, and he saved his sort of lower order from coming out to bat. That's vital. And up you have other players who can put out that runs. He saved them from that time being where England could have stormed in and taken about 3-4 wickets and exposed the tail. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's costly, very costly.
Very costly. And then of course Rahane did double his score and then got to 50, which will be great for his confidence. We have seen him bounce back before as well when he's been in poor form. But then England did manage to remove both Rahane and Pujara, and then even Jadeja before end of day's play. India only managed 181 runs in 82 overs, so it was a proper grind. मगर चलो बात कर लेते हैं थोड़ी England की bowling की. तो Jimmy Anderson has been their main man, the talisman in this series. This was the first innings in which Anderson couldn't get a wicket, and finally you saw the support staff the support bowlers rise up to the occasion. Mark Wood, I thought he was pretty quick in the first innings as well, but wavered. Or this innings, I'm really impressed with what I saw from him. That was a peach of a delivery to get rid of both Pujara and KL Rahul. And then it was smart bowling to Rohit Sharma. He fell to the trap. So 3 wickets for him. Very happy for him for that. Sam Curran, finally got a wicket, so he pitched in. Or then Moeen Ali, I thought he bowled brilliantly well. I mean, second innings of the game for India, or thoda sa pitch mein ab thoda turn aa gaya, and then he just had those classic off-spinner dismissals, didn't he? Rahane also got a really good one, and then that ball to Pujara, I mean, just beautiful. Left-hander versus an off-spinner, ball straightened, hit top of off. It doesn't get any better than that.
Absolutely. I do feel like England is missing the likes of Archer and Broad. It's really made a
Chris
difference
Vokes.
to their, and Vokes, of course. That's really made a difference to their attack. And Ben Stokes being in. So this is a mixed up attack, and pehle innings mein it wasn't as threatening. Jimmy is just amazing. Uski to matlab he's set the standards and he doesn't waver from that. So he's good. Like, and Ollie obviously pitched in as well. Wood pehle innings mein he wasn't as impressive for me personally, because he was banging in short. Pace to hai uske paas, but wo white ball type bowling करवा रहा था जो ODIs में expect करते हो कि short जा रहा है, but again people learn, and उसके लिए एक innings के बाद he turned it around, and आज उसने he was really good. So yeah, credit to them. And Sam Curran, I feel like, is not a great test player. People might disagree, but I didn't rate him too much in the first innings. Aj he got Kohli. That's the biggest prize you can get in today's cricket. So credit to him, but still I feel like once any of the prime bowlers are back, Sam would be the first one to go.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue that because he hasn't had much to report home about in this series. But this was definitely his best showing, and Wood finally, कुछ आपको support नजर आया एंडरसन के लिए. वो बेचारा one man show था. Ollie Robinson was good, but he wasn't as threatening. But Wood today really showed that he could play that role. But then Moeen Ali, let's talk a bit about Moeen Ali. He's been out of Test cricket for so long. Looked pretty decent with the bat. Got a good one from Ishant Sharma. तो उस पे तो मैं उसको इतना fault नहीं करूँगा. But those two dismissals, Rahane and then Jadeja out of all people, जो इतनी form में था, and that delivery to Jadeja was pretty unplayable too. So I think Moeen could play a big role in the remainder of this innings.
He could, absolutely. And Moeen ka ye hai कि he's such a diverse player. Abhi wo 100 खेल रहा था. He's been all over the place, and whenever he's been called upon, he's always delivered as well. He has a really good attitude towards the game. And aaj there was something for him in the pitch. He absolutely delivered, and he was really, really good. And especially that dismissal, Jadeja's dismissal was amazing. Great.
He has a really good record against India as well. But khair, chalo, 181 runs on the board, a lead of 154. India are 6 wickets down with Rishabh Pant and Ishant Sharma on the crease. They don't have a long tail. So 154 to zara kam runs hai. England would want to come out tomorrow and get India out ASAP. But I think India will be looking at that 200 psychological barrier. Ke 200 ka target agar India ne de diya na, then they have very much an equal chance of winning this game. And day 5 promises a lot.
Absolutely. I think my guess would be 200 is game on. It would be very competitive till the end. And if they somehow manage to get to 220, 230, India are the favorites 80-20 then. Because we've seen Pant do it before. Sharma se to obviously wo to bowler hai. Lekin if Rishabh stays out for a while, we know he plays quick as well. Wo bhi apni game khelta hai. He's not going to block it out. Wo marega. So if he gives you a quick 30, 40 or a 50 even, you never know. So that's game on. So it's going to be a good 5th day of cricket to watch.
I'm very interested to see what Rishabh Pant will do tomorrow, because the situation doesn't require hitting right now. इस वक्त game को prolong भी करना है थोड़ा सा, secure भी करना है game को. So if they bat out a session, then very much the test match could be potentially saved. So I think maybe he doesn't go all gung ho and पागलों की तरह मारना नहीं शुरू हो जाएगा कल मेरे ख्याल से जाके, मगर ये तो वक्त ही बताएगा. So yeah, I agree over there. I think 200 is that psychological barrier, bare minimum that India need in order to win this test match, and England will be looking to get them under 200, and then anything over 200, like 220, 230, and then 250, that's very much in India's favor. I think they'll be favorites to win the game then.
Yeah, I think if they take it up to 240, 50, udhar to phir match draw hi ho jayega, because then they're not getting 10 wickets as well, even though it's day 5. So realistically, the 200 barrier is where the game will be very interesting. And I feel like, Rishabh Pant ki wicket is going to be key, or his batting is going to be key, whatever, it's up to him. And I haven't seen him in his career block out as much, even in tough situations. We saw what he did in Australia. Wo aake, he does play his game. So he wouldn't care if it's Ishant Sharma on the other end or Bumrah. Agar isko buri ball mil rahi, he's going to pull it for 6, and that's just the sort of player he is.
I mean, I can't wait. It's such a crazy day for Test cricket, honestly. And just the fact that tomorrow all 3 results are possible, right? India could win it, England could win it, and the game could also be drawn very easily. So that makes it all the more exciting. All right, folks, that's a wrap for volume 24. Thank you so much for making the show, Hatib. And of course, as always, if you enjoyed this volume, please like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell icon in order to be notified about my latest videos. Of course, if you have any questions which you want addressed in future volumes, please tweet them at DefMango using the hashtag AskCRIQAZI. I'll catch you after day 5 of the Lord's Test, guys. Kazi off the mic.
Have a look at that, smiles up, oh, it's nearly taken someone out in the stands. That was a flat 6 right under the stand there, the George Giffen stand, up into the members.